it take to get it out back. All my niggas outside, steak, bitch, we out back.
Hello, everybody. Give me 1 second, all right? Give me 1 second. Check something out real quick. All right, we're good now. We're good to go. Y'all just checking out some stuff real quick. But anyway, everybody, I am the official urban therapist, and I appreciate you tuning in for this Motivational Monday today. Today is on February 28th, which that means this is the last day of Black History Month. So I hope that each and every last one of y'all enjoyed the content that I've been putting out all month pertaining to Black History Month. The different content I've been putting out on, it wasn't just something that uh, you typically will see every year, for us like honoring, different Black Americans and, their certain adventures or their contribution to the culture. But however, I've been putting out content where it focusing on, our particular behavior, for us as a culture and as a society as a whole too, and to give some type of um, not only feedback, but also give a different perspective and some certain accountability as well, so we could continue to move further as a culture and stuff. So once again, I hope that all the material that I put out this month, it helped y'all out a whole lot. Which, to be honest with you, it helped me out a whole lot. Helped me to reevaluate things from a different perspective. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so I now will be putting out one more Black History Month content today. Uh, I was kind of thinking about it in a way. I was kind of thinking about not doing it, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and do it. And I'm gonna put out one more content probably later on today. If time permits, I'll do one more. All right. But enough with all that. Let's go ahead and jump into the content. All right, Mike, what's up with it, bro? Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate you tuning in. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and jump into this motivational Monday topic. All right. Um, what inspired me to talk about this is because I always notice one common thing with just people and dealing with people and analyzing people behavior and also analyzing my personal behavior as well. One common thing that I have noticed is that where we have a tendency to point the finger at other people a lot, especially where we make certain decisions, knowing good and well that the outcome of that decision was something that you made. You made a choice behind it. But instead of us taking accountability for that decision, we decide to point the finger or point the blame on other people, other situations, other things. Even furthermore, some of us who either believe in religion or spirituality, we either point the blame either on God or even the devil as well. So on this Motivational Monday, I want to point this out to y'all that um, What through my experience of living, our worst enemy is not people. Our worst enemy is not God. Our worst enemy is not even the devil. Our worst enemy is ourself. We are our worst enemy. And the reason why we are like that is once again based on certain decisions that we make or certain choices that we make. Um, all of us we have different upbringings. You know what I'm saying? All of us have different lifestyle choices that we choose to be a part of. Some, let me take that back. Some lifestyle choices we choose not to be a part of because it's part of our upbringing. But when we become adults, that's when we be able to choose our quote unquote destiny or choose our quote unquote lifestyle that we want to live in. Same thing with certain choices that we make in life. When we become older, we choose certain things that we want to do, and we choose not to do certain things we want to do when we become older. You know what I'm saying? Money boy, what's up with it, bro? What's up with it? Appreciate you checking up on me too as well, bro. But yeah, we have certain lifestyle choices that we choose when we become older. Now the question is, the choices that we choose for ourselves, is it going to be beneficial for ourselves, or is it going to be destructive? And this is going to be the whole purpose of this Motivational Monday for today, is that your greatest enemy is yourself. You are your INTERmy, meaning that you are your INTERmy within yourself. You're your INTERmy. It's your inner self that's either going to make you or is going to break you, depending on what you choose to do. There have been plenty of choices that I made in my adult life. Plenty of choices that I made that I'm glad that I made the choice that I did. And there are other choices that I made in my adult life that I regret it. Even to this day, I regret it. It's more like a recycling reminder of the certain choices that I'd have made and I regret. There's some choices that I have made, I cannot take it back whatsoever. No matter how hard I try, I can't cover it up. I can't take it back. It is what it is. I remember at one point in time where I used to try my best to try to cover up these bad choices or these negative choices that I have made. I try my best to do it, or I try my best to rectify it or correct it over and over and over again. But without avail, the universe itself would not allow me to correct the errors that I have made. It's set in stone. It is what it is. I finally came to the realization that that I needed to accept that. I needed to take accountability for the choices that I made, and I needed to accept that it is what it is, and there ain't no turning back from it. Furthermore, I needed to not only accept accountability, but also stop being so tough and so hard on myself. Learn to forgive myself for the certain choices that I have made. And I'm talking about negative choices, by the way, that I have made. I believe that many of us right now, we made certain choices in life that we cannot take that mug back, even though if we try. Some of us, we try so hard to take certain choices that we made back. We try so hard to do it, so hard to do it. But without any avail, it just won't go away. You have a constant reminder of it every single day. But what I want to do, I want to encourage you that it's okay. I want to let you know that it's okay. It's fine. I also want to reveal to you that even though that we could be our worst enemy or our INTERmy, at the same time, this is part of us being human. because we always constantly is learning different things. We're always constantly evolving into the greater version of ourselves. Well, at least that's what we're supposed to be doing. We're always learning things. We're always experiencing different things, different cultures, different outcomes, different situations. We always experience that every single day. So it's okay for us to experience positive things. Then it's also okay for us to experience negative things. But the only problem that we have is that sometimes we be holding on to that negative thing so much so that it prevents us from growing. It prevents us from progressing further than where we need to be at. And we end up becoming stagnant. We end up becoming stuck in a rut. So I want to encourage and tell y'all that it's okay. The choices that you made, especially the negative ones, it's okay. Just recognize for what it is, learn from it. And if that thing is something that it will not go away, like I stated earlier, let that be a symbol of a constant reminder of where you are, the choices that you used to make versus where you progressing yourself to go. Let that thing remind you every single day. If it's a curse, fine, it could be a curse, whatever it may be. But let that thing be a constant reminder to you every single day. Like, hey, I effed up on this one big time. But I'm learning from it. I'm learning from this, and I'm going to use this to help me to move forward. I'm going to use this to help me to progress into the greatest version of myself every single day. Every single day. Absolutely, sir. No regrets. Absolutely. No regrets whatsoever. Because sometimes when you do have regrets, sometimes even the regret will become negative and it will hold you back from your greatest potential. It will literally hold you back from your greatest potential. But that's only if you choose to let it. Only if you choose to let that thing hold you back. Now, I also want to notice that there are some people out there. They're out there and that they are projecting such a negative image, right? And then instead of them dealing with their self, just like I stated earlier, they want to place the blame on everyone else, all except for themselves. They want to blame it on the people who they're around with. They want to blame it on their job. They want to blame it on their income. They want to blame it on the government. They want to blame it on the world. They want to blame it on God. They want to blame it on the devil. They want to blame it on their children. Want to blame it on the dog. Want to blame it on the cat. But instead of taking that time out to really stop and reevaluate their self, reevaluate the decisions that they're making. I had noticed also that these same set people, right? They'll project it on you as well. They'll project that very thing on you as well to make it seem like you are the problem. You're the bad guy. You're the reason why they are behaving the way that they're behaving. But I want to let y'all know to be mindful of these certain type of people that are out there. Notice the behavior of what they're doing. And if you know without a shadow of doubt that you're not doing nothing to these type of people, that you're not projecting the same type of negative energy to same people, and you know that without a shadow of doubt, then it's your responsibility to recognize that, first of all. The second of all, it's your responsibility to understand the behavior, which is, at the end of the day, the reason why they are doing what they're doing towards you is because they is projecting their own type of accountability for themselves. They're in this certain type of space, and they want to literally pull you into that same type of space where they at. This is the reason why sometimes when people have a disagreement, or they be having an argument, or you can even call it a beef, or whatever you want to call it. This is the reason why these type of things manifest itself, and it never stops. It keep going and going and going. Even if you try to stop, it becomes more of a addiction, where even when you want to stop, you can't stop, because it becomes an addiction at this point, because if it starts to feel good to you, it starts to be nourishment to you. It starts to feed your ego in a negative way. So even when you want to stop, you can't stop, because now it became an addiction. But the only way for you to stop is to recognize what it is, and to recognize the space where you at, and to rectify your personal self, not the other person, but your personal self. Absolutely. Um, and answer that, Mike. I have plenty of family that I don't deal with at all. Period. I deal with them from the distance. There's certain family that, true, I do not deal with at all. Period. But if you talking about your main family, which is, say for example, you're married, and it's either a wife that's projecting the type of behavior I'm talking about, or it could be you who's projecting it, or it could even be your children who's projecting it. Then that situation will be have to deal with differently, because it's gonna be impossible for you to not deal with them unless you decide to divorce out of that relationship, or you decide to sever that relationship, which in most cases people don't want to do that. In most cases, especially men, men, if we're in a committed relationship, we will stay there and fight for that relationship till we die, because men tend, just like I said this before, men tend to love unconditionally, but women tend to love within conditions. Oh yeah, well, if it's on siblings, yeah, then that's different. Because once, like I stated before, if it's dealing with, not your immediate family, but your outside family, like, your older brothers or siblings, whatever it is and stuff, if they are causing if they're causing you any type of emotional harm, and they don't want to stop, and you recognize it's them who's projecting the behavior or the negative behavior that I'm talking about earlier, then by all means, to maintain your quote unquote sanity, to maintain your quote unquote peace, it is better for you to love them from the distance instead of putting up with the toxic behavior. Because also keep in mind too, that you're not there to change them, nor you're not there to save them. You're only there for one main purpose, and that's to love them. That's the only reason why you're there. You're not obligated to put up with anything dealing with any type of toxic behavior. You're not obligated to that. Period. And this even in a relationship as well too. Even if you're in a relationship or marriage or whatever it is, stuff like that, you're not obligated to put up with toxic behavior. Period. That's not an obligation, but rather it's a choice that you choose to make. You can either choose to do that or you choose not to do that. Regardless of the contract or the legal contract and the spiritual contract which you be saying your vows and stuff. At the end of the day, that's your choice that you make. So yeah, likewise, any type of behavior that you're dealing with for us with people, that is absolutely your choice if you want to choose to deal with that or not. And here's the interesting part about that too as well that I want to point out. If you choose not to deal with that and you choose to push them away, what's going to happen is that more likely the pushback is going to be that, oh, you think you're better than me. Oh, it is you because you're doing X, Y, and Z. When in reality, you're trying to push for peace. And they're not trying to push for peace. They're trying to manipulate you and try to point the finger or point the blame on you, thinking that you're the one who's messed up. But in reality, they're the one who really is messed up. Then on top of that, they feel that you're supposed to be obligated to fix them. Or you're supposed to be obligated to put up with them, which you're not. You're not obligated at all, period. Like I stated, at the end of the day, it's based on your choice. It's absolutely based on your choice, whether if you want to deal with it or not. And it doesn't make you a bad person if you choose the latter, which that's what people, especially dealing with negative toxic behavior, would do. They'll make it seem like you're bad. No. Also, like I stated earlier, there have been plenty of family members that I done literally cut off. I don't even talk to them at all, period. Unless they reach out to me or whatever. But other than that, I don't reach out to them, period. And to be honest, I don't care. And when I say I don't care, that doesn't mean I don't care about them. It does mean I don't care about how the way they perceive me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not allowing them into my space to try to manipulate and control my space or control the reality that I'm living in. Now, if they need me, by all means, I'll come and help the system or whatever. But for us, me chilling with them, no, nope. Because I know where they at. And I know that, and this is me, I just know that they're not going to change because they don't want to change. Just like I stated earlier, some people be so addictive to their negative behavior that they don't want to change. Or it's hard for them to change. Yeah, absolutely. And then that goes from the that goes for that old saying that blood is thicker than water. But I bet the difference. If you know that your family, especially your blood family, is acting up, I say that by all means, it's good for you to tell them the errors of their way so they could be accountable for that. But once again, keep in mind, you can't change them. You can only point it out, and that's it. That's all you can do. You just point it out. But you can't change them. You can't manipulate them to change. Nor you can't manipulate them to think the same way, how the way you think. Because everyone thinks differently. And it's all based on their upbringing. It's all based on not only their upbringing, but it's also based on the reality that they're living in their adult life as well. Some people is living a different life than how you are. Doesn't make them bad people, but it does how the way they're perceiving their life versus how the way you perceive it. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and that's why I made the statement earlier that there's nothing wrong with you distancing yourself. Yeah, that's why I made that statement. There's nothing wrong with you distancing yourself from, disassociating yourself from that for your sanity, for your peace purposes. Because at the end of the day, you know how the way they are. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Period. I remember. I remember when I went to my last family reunion. It was over. I think almost like years ago. It was over like 2 or 3 years ago. Probably longer than that. I remember when I went to it. Right, all my cousins and different family members, they came up to me to my bro. You changed. Why you don't reach out to us? Why you don't do this and why you don't do that? Blah 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 this and blah 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 that. And I had to be real with that. I like, man, because how the way y'all live and I don't rock with it, bro. I'm 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 living my life towards where I'm constantly trying to elevate myself. Where I'm constantly not only trying to elevate myself, but I'm living my life to the best of my potential. I'm doing things that I know that y'all don't want to do. I think differently for how the way y'all think. So we don't have nothing in common. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but this is how I'm rocking. If y'all cool with that, then yeah, we could rock on together. But if you trying to enter into my space where you trying to manipulate me, you trying to be narcissistic around me, you trying to, control or talk down on me, that I don't need you in my space. I love you, but I don't need you in my space, period. It just is what it is. And like I say, we're right now we're talking about family, but that's for anything. That's for friendships. That's even for business relationships as well, too. It's some people that mm-mm, you just gotta keep it where it's at. You just gotta keep it what it is. There's some people like at my job right now. There are people at my job right now. I would not kick it with them on a personal level because I know how the way they are. I would not do it. Even though they ask, hey, yeah, we having this certain event at my crib. You want to come over? No, I'm good, bro. Sure, I'm good. And I only have a business or professional relationship with them, and that's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Because I just know how the way they are. So um, once again, it's your responsibility to recognize that. It's your responsibility to also deal with not only your quote unquote inner demons that you deal within yourself, but also to recognize other people as well and to move accordingly. I believe as us being human, I believe that it's always advisable is always advisable for us to always think before we do certain things or before we take certain actions instead of just doing it. Because I believe that that's what also get us into a lot of unnecessary situations because we don't think before we do stuff. We just do it. We just be reacting based on our feelings and emotions and stuff. I didn't did it. Like I say, there's decisions that I done made that, like I stated, I regretted it even to this day, and it haunts me even to this day. And I'm like, man, why in the hell did I do that? Like, dang, why I do that? Now I got to deal with this thing every single freaking day, every day for the rest of my life. because of one decision I made off of my emotions, because it felt good at the moment. So it's people that are locked up right now, who are literally locked up in prison right now because they did something based on their feelings and their emotion, because it felt good to do it at that moment, but it literally cost them their life. There are people who literally died because they did something that felt good at that moment, but now they had died. So there are so many different circumstances behind that, and that's why I'm encouraging y'all to be real strategic with your decision makings. Understand and recognize who you are. Understand your strengths, and understand that you do have an inner demon in you. You know what I'm saying? Understand that you do have that, and recognize that. Recognize that. The reason why through my perspective about that, Mike, the reason why it is different from us as Black Americans versus other cultures is because what I did a live about. I think I did this live almost like a year ago. No, it been about like 5 months ago. I did a live, and my live was talking about us being in a crab and a barrel mentality, because instead of us uplifting each other and us networking with each other in a positive way, we tend to network with each other with conditions behind it, instead of looking at the overall end result. So that's why, I believe that, in Black America, especially business wise and also economic wise, social economic wise as well, is that's why we fall short. It's because of that crab in the barrel mentality that we just cannot get past for some reason. I don't understand why, but well, actually, I do understand why. It's because of the decisions. Well, it's because of the choices that we're making. It deals with our certain upbringing as well. A lot of factors play into that. We, Mike, a matter of fact, we're so divided within Black America that we divide each other based on colorism, even though we are Black. But we're divided within colorism. We're divided within socioeconomic classes, or social classes. Some of us, where we're considered ourselves poor, then we have middle class, then we have the ones who are educated as well. And we all divided because the ones who are educated, they feel like that they're so educated or so overly bougie that they're better than the people who are lower than them. And they treat them like that. The one who are poor class, sometimes they so comfortable in the situation that they're in that they don't want to do better because they're fine at where they at. And so they look down on the people who are more, wealthier than them, thinking that the people who are wealthier than them, thinking that they feel like that they're better than them. So it corrects a certain prejudice. So we all going against each other instead of recognize that we just won. Yeah, absolutely it is. Absolutely it is. Yeah, I agree. But that's the reason why it is what it is, Mike. Can it be resolved? Is there a solution behind it? Absolutely it is. But I mean, at the end of the day, it is based on if people are willing to do the work to change and make it better, but unfortunately, it's not. As long as as long as there's so much gap between us, that it's not going to happen. It is going to this that's going to be ultimately the reality of it. That's ultimately what it's going to be. I would love for it to change. I would love for us to be walking where um, we can walk with each other, we can network with each other, do all kind of things with each other. But unfortunately, the current reality is that it's just not happening. Hey, Kay, how you doing? Welcome. Appreciate you tuning in. Yeah, and you know what? That's actually true. By the way, that's true, Mike. By the way, I agree with you on that too. Yeah, that is true too. I actually had the opportunity to visit on Jamaica too. But yeah, I agree. I agree. Absolutely, I agree. So it's on one last thing I want to share with y'all too. Um, by the way, Mike, hold on. Let me do this real quick before I get to my point. There you go, Mike. Congratulations, you just became a mod. But what I was going oh, let me share this one last thing with y'all. Then I'll be done with this motivational Monday. All right. Now speaking on the perspective for dealing with things that are happening in the YouTube streets. Speaking on this perspective, everything that I'm talking about, it also can relate to things that we deal with on the YouTube streets. Dealing with us being like content creators or even subscribers and all this stuff too. You know what I'm saying? This concept deals with the same as that thing because one of the biggest things that I always talk about, I always talk about, preach about, and everything like that is us as black content creators. You know what I'm saying? For us, us putting out content. You know what I mean? Where we once again instead of us being together as recognized as one body or one sector, period. Guess what we did? We end up separating ourselves. We have the beef sector, we have the tea sector, we have the mukbang sector, we have this sector, we have that sector. Instead of us being one, we divided ourselves. And this is the behavior that we do. Yeah, I agree. And you're welcome, bro. But yeah, we decide to divide ourselves instead of being together. Then not only that, we decide to create content instead of us networking with one another and we uplifting each other and we giving quality entertainment back to the people who are subscribers. Instead of us doing that, we decide to beef with each other. We decide to do all these negative things, thinking that that's quality content when it's really not. So we go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I know that doing that, it becomes very, very draining emotionally. I know it is. So one of the things that I've been doing is that I've been recognizing what's been going on, recognizing the behavior and pointing it out, challenge people to certain levels of accountability behind it to help get rid of it. Because to be honest with you, it honestly need to be get rid of. That's the overall solutions that it needs to be get rid of, period. But once again, that's based on the accountability of each individual to recognize the behavior, to recognize that, dang, man, this thing that I'm doing, it became addicting. It became so addictive that it's hard for me to let go, but I need to work on letting this thing go. For my peace purposes, for my insanity, for my sanity, I need to deal with my inner demon, my inner INTERmy, so I could get control of this thing. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It is. It is, Kay. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. And that's the thing about it is that I recognize that, Kay, that it is. It's a long road and it's a tough road too. It's a tough road and it's a tough path. But as long as I'm a content creator on here, that's gonna be always be something that I talk about all the time is accountability. Us having some type of accountability. Us doing better. And when I mean us, I'm talking about us, including myself. Because there are certain things that I do that I have to recognize and I have to be hold myself accountable for it. But the only difference is that the only difference is that I literally recognize the things that I do. Since I recognize that, that's when I can hold myself accountable for it. And I can make a choice to either do better or stay where I'm at. Yeah. And that's interesting too. And here's another interesting thing about that, Mike. Um, Normally, based on the behavior, normally people come together is when they share a common enemy or a common goal. That's normally what happens. Like on case in point too. I was going to talk about this later on tonight, but that's case in point. The situation that's happening with Russia and stuff, right, and Ukraine. A lot of people is on record currently recognizing Russia as the coming enemy. So now a lot of countries are putting aside their differences to come together to recognize this coming enemy or coming threat. And now they're issuing now different economical sanctions against Russia right now. But at first, we wasn't all together because at first we was all dealing with, the 19 and stuff. We trying to place the blame on that, and we was all over the place, as different countries around the world. But now they recognize a global threat, and now countries are coming together because they recognize one common thing now. And that's what happens even with gang members that you want to state it, Mike, is that sometimes they'll recognize there's a main common enemy that they both do not like. And they'll come together, set aside their differences. But here's the trip part about it is that they'll only settle their differences just for that moment until that situation is resolved. Then they go back into doing what they're doing, which that is not cool. I know, right? Hey, Kay, I not get you on that. I know. Yeah, I agree. Did a lot of people on here force like the spelling part? A lot of them they just don't care. because they know it's social media. You know, matter. They're not at work. You know, they're not trying to. They're not getting graded on an essay or nothing like that. So they just um, basically what they do. They text. They text right. That's what they do. They write in a chat as though as they're texting on their phone. Yeah, that's what they do. So they don't use common spelling. They don't use proper grammar, comma, punctuation marks, periods, or anything like that. But yeah, to make people do anything. At the end of the day, I'm just here just to share my perspective about it, give people a different way of thinking. It's up to them to choose if they see it or not. If they choose it, cool. If they not, cool. That's them in their space. Then by all means, like I was telling Mike earlier, at that point, then I recognize and know that there's some type of people who are they're addicted to their ways, they're stuck in their ways, and they don't want to change for the better or for themselves. And so them type of people, I just leave them alone and keep moving forward, regardless of who they are. Just keep moving forward. So yeah, if y'all got anything out of this and what I'm telling y'all about on this motivational Monday, one of the main things that you need to understand is to recognize your inner me. And yes, I had I spelled inner me purposely like that on my what we call it, because instead of enemy, it's your inner me that you're dealing with. That's what we deal with every single day. It's not just people who we deal with, it's our inner me that we deal with every single day based on the choices. That's a good question, okay? That's a good question. But unfortunately, there are people who don't want to do better. They don't, because they feel like they don't need to be better, because they feel like that the certain choices that they make is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Long as it helps with their ego, then it's fine. But even with dealing with ego, like I told y'all a lot in my lives, there are different type of egos that you deal with. You know, you either deal with a positive ego or you deal with a negative ego. But yeah, just like I say, that's what I want y'all to just recognize. If you're listening to me right now and you understand where Urban is coming from, let's take the time out to recognize your strength and recognize your weaknesses as well. To recognize that you do have a inner demon that's in you. Know that exists, and it exists because not because you as a overall bad person. It exists because you are human, and you have to want to recognize that. And then at the end of the day, everything is about balance. Everything is about balancing the scale, balancing the equation. It's not good to have too much of anything. Yeah, big facts, bro. Big facts. But yeah, we have to be balanced out. Like for example, say for example, K, right? You want to respect a man who is a yes man all the time, right? Who's that say yes, dear, every single time, every moment, right? You eventually lose respect from that man. And the reason why is because you need balance. It's part of human nature. You need that man to be balanced. It's okay for that dude to say yes with certain situations, but in other situations, you just need that dude just to man up and say, man, hell no. Like, you're out your mind. I ain't finna do that. And be firm about what he say. It's the same thing with men. We need balance as well too. We need that same, just like y'all say, strong independent women and stuff like that. We need strong women. Ain't nothing wrong with a woman being strong, but it's wrong when it's too much of it. When you so much of it where you're overshadowing us as being men. And that's the problem that the modern day generation is having right now. Because it's too much of everything. It's too much of men being overly men or overly macho or overly aggressive. Then it's too much of women being way too strong when there's need a balance. It's okay to lower yourself. It's okay to balance yourself out. And that goes for men and women. It is okay. It is okay to be strong. Men, it's okay for you to be strong and to be the leader that you are. Then it's also okay for you to recognize that in this situation, in this particular situation, I need to submit as well. Period. It's okay with that. It is absolutely okay with that. Talking about finances. Um, Finances plays a certain role with life, but finances is not the overall decision maker. Yeah, from finances is not the overall decision maker, like we try to perceive it to be. Yeah, the overall thing about relationship is on recognizing what it is. Yeah, recognizing the behavior and everything, and also recognizing yourself too. Because things will be like for us, like relationship. Yeah, that's like how things are. The overall problem that we have with relationship is that we don't recognize ourself first, our inner self first. The second of all, we don't understand each other. Instead of us trying to take time out to not only recognize ourselves and to understand the person who we're in a relationship with, we want to project our own personal reality and force that person to be a part of that. And that's what caused the disconnect. I hear you, Kay. Hey man, what's up with it, bro? Yep. Overall, bro. Overall. Facts, facts, facts. Hmm. Yeah, I remember you telling me that. I remember that. That's why I be teasing you sometimes too. 2K. Yeah, I don't forget things. Yeah, I don't forget it at all. Yeah, I don't forget it at all. So, oh yeah. Also, so since y'all my moderators and stuff, I don't believe in I don't believe in blocking trolls. All right, I don't address them unless they legitimately is trying to have a conversation with me. Then I'll address them then. But if they just trolling, then y'all don't have to block them. Just let them stay up there. It's fine because they don't bother me. Yeah, it don't bother me at all. Oh, the only exception to the rule too, as well, if they are just being totally disrespectful. Yeah, if they being totally disrespectful, where they feel like they have to cuss either me or any one of y'all out just to get a point across and doing that kind of stuff, then yeah, block their ass. Get them out of there. But then if they just talking about like this last one talking about how the way I talk, I've been well, what's crazy about it is that people been telling me about that all my life, ever since I've been little. So it doesn't bother me because I didn't heard it before. I didn't heard it while I was growing up, and I heard it in my adult life. So it does not bother me. It does not make me feel some type of way. I done been through a whole lot in my life, and I done been through so much in my life where I done developed a lot of tough skin where nothing doesn't bother me anymore. Then not to mention that it's social media, so it don't matter. I don't care. Yeah, I feel you on that, man. I feel you on that, bro. But yeah, that's pretty much it, y'all. And I appreciate y'all tuning in to this motivational Monday. And I hope that the things that been said today, that it will help you to be the better version of yourself. All right. So like always, y'all continue to fight fates with faith. I'm thinking about coming on tonight to do one more show about Black History Month tonight. I'm thinking about it really hard. If I pop up, then there's such a notification, all right? That's all I'm gonna say. But other than that, y'all have a great Monday, and I will see y'all again next time. Peace out.
I don't care how long it take to get a op back. All my niggas outside, steak, bitch, we out back.